Peace, everybody. Welcome back to another practice. I'm excited for this one, which is going to be mostly focused on strengthening the lower body, really strengthening the whole body. It's a strength-based practice and a mobility-based practice as well. Because I think the nice thing about yoga is when we build strength through the yoga practice, it ends up being a mobility practice as well, because yoga requires our body to move in so many different ways through all these different spaces and planes of movement. So anyways, with all that being said, hope you enjoyed the practice, and let's go ahead and get started laying down on our backs. As you lay on your back, get started by taking a full body stretch, letting everything lengthen out for a few moments. Slow things down. Explore the capacity of your breath. And already, before we ask anything of ourselves, become aware of the strength that you have in your body, especially in your legs, right? Give the legs the credit they deserve as the limbs that carry us through the world as bipedal creatures. All right, so we'll move through this practice with a gratitude for the legs and appreciation for everything they can do, right? Saying no thank you to all that self-criticism that can sometimes come up when we do a more challenging practice. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and bend the knees and come up for bridge pose. Hips bridge up to the sky. Bring awareness into the bottoms of the feet. It's not really about finding a huge back bend. It's fine if you do, but it's more about just feeling this push through the legs and engagement through the glutes and hamstrings. Go ahead and take an inhale. Exhale, slowly lower. Hug the knees into the chest and give yourself a little squeeze. Rock side to side a couple times. Feet to the ground, bridge pose. When you're ready, go ahead and rise. Press into the feet, hips lift off the ground. Root down into your breath as the factor that can keep us in the present moment. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release. Hug the knees into the chest one more time. Rock side to side. And then bridge pose, round 3 of 3. Last one. Press into the feet, bridge the hips up. And once again, just feel your feet gripping the mat, just how you could grip the mat with your hands when you're in down dog or plank pose or chaturanga. Feel yourself gripping the mat with the feet, and then see how much control you actually have. You could shift the weight around, you could shift the knees, you could lift the hips a little bit. And we have a lot more control than we maybe realize. Go ahead and lower. This time start to rock forward and back several times. This can actually be a really nice way to activate through the core and to stretch through the back. And it's a little bit fun as well, or at least I think it's kind of fun. And then once you've done that a bunch of times, go ahead and come all the way up to a seated position and come into a wide-legged seated fold. So if you have to turn sideways on your mat, no worries. All right, before we get into some of these more active standing and balancing postures, we're going to create a little bit of stretch in the hamstrings with this wide-legged fold. However, try to be a little bit active with it by engaging the thigh muscles, engaging the quad muscles. It's really easy to just be here and be lazy, but we can find, again, the same control I've been talking about. You can control the way you fold, the way you hinge, the way you lean, where the balance is shifted. You can control if you're on the front or the back of your pelvis. But a lot of this just comes with awareness and practice over time. Okay, once you've been able to kind of modulate around and stretch through your legs a little bit, go ahead and cross one leg over the other. So like a crisscross applesauce or a sukhasana, and then fold over your legs. So allow this just to be a nice stretch for the external rotation of the legs, of the hips. As I fold, I kind of like to wave side to side a little bit, Y'all know me, I like to undulate in the positions. It feels natural to find small little movements instead of to kind of hold stillness in a lot of these postures for me. Give yourself a few more breaths. And then switch legs. Opposite shin goes on top. Try to sit up tall. I know sometimes it's hard, but try to sit up tall and then fold with a little bit more length. You can allow this to be a mostly passive stretch, but you could also make it a little bit more active just by feeling the knees pressing away from you. We're not pushing them down with our hands or anything, but we're just energetically opening the legs more by feeling the knees press down toward the ground. A few more breaths. Begin to lift up. Let's shift it into downward facing dog. So we'll step back and we'll lift the hips up toward the sky. In down dog, I recommend keeping a bend in the knees, and often you'll find that if your legs are completely straight and your heels are on the ground, the spine is a bit rounded. But if you bend the knees a little bit, lift the butt further back, and then really drive through the armpits, you can find more length throughout the whole spine. That's kind of what we're going for in down dog, is length in the spine more than a stretch in the back of the legs. From here, let's lift the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Step the right foot all the way through to the top of your mat and drop the knee down behind you. Reach the arms up to the sky and grab opposite elbows. Find the bind and feel this stretch in the front of the left hip. With both feet, press down into the mat. And then with the elbows, lift up. Imagine your side bodies could elongate. Take an inhale. Exhale, release the arms. Warrior three. Press off your back foot and lean forward into a balance. Arms can do whatever you want here. All right, we're gonna do something that's hard. You can always use your hands down, especially if you have two blocks. Use your hands on blocks. We'll head to a shrimp squat. So we'll start to shift and bend both knees, and we'll try to touch the left knee all the way down to the ground, and then rise all the way back up, pulling the left knee into the chest for stork pose. From stork pose, let's bring the hands toward our shoulders, palms forward, inhale. Exhale, push both arms and push the left leg. From here, swing the arms and the left leg back to warrior three, and then rise up into high crescent lunge, arms to the sky. Take an inhale there. Exhale, elongate into pyramid pose. Hinge at the hips and fold. From here, take an inhale. Fold a little bit deeper on the exhale. Shift forward by bending into the right knee. Drop the left knee. Loop the right arm open into a twist. And then there's an optional quad stretch bind if you want to bend your left knee. And find the foot to hand connection. Take an inhale. Exhale, release your foot. If you have it, bring the right hand down, and we're shifting all the way to the back of the mat, Skandasana. So drop the left heel down and then shift into your Skandasana side lunge, bending into the left knee. From here, this one's a little tricky. Again, we'll build the repetition over time, but start to shift to the top of the mat again. Plant the left hand at the top of the mat, lift the right hand up, and then thread the left leg through to sit down on the mat. Now we're in boat pose. I consider the core to be very close to the legs in that they are what move us through the world. So I think there's a misconception that you can get a long way with really strong shoulders, and that doesn't hurt. But often if we find strength and control in the legs and the core, the arms really don't need to do that much. They can kind of just do their jobs, and our bigger muscles in the middle of our body are actually what's going to keep us stable. So that's why we're activating the core. Not that I needed a reason. Let's take an inhale here. Exhale, low boat. Hover to the ground. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, low boat. And then keep going forward and back. High boat, low boat for 5, 4, just going for time here, 3, 2, listen carefully. On 1, shift forward. Right foot plants, left hand plants. Lift the hips, thread the left leg behind you, warrior 2. What a transition. You know, I know we're kind of moving through some very interesting transitions here, but you'll get the hang of it after you do it a few times, if you don't already. From here, triangle pose. Extend through the right leg, reach forward, and drop into your Trikonasana. Try to keep length into your side bodies, reaching forward and up. Take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2, rebend the right knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand up. Exhale, rotate the hands to the mat and move through your flow from there. So maybe it's a chaturanga to up dog, and then back to down dog. Other side, let's get it. Amazing job, y'all. Left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Step the left foot all the way through. Drop the knee down behind you. Reach the arms up, grab opposite elbows, and try to do the opposite arm on top. You have a few breaths here. Once again, feel both feet pressing down to create a little more lift and activation. One more full breath in. Exhale, hands down, and we're headed forward, warrior 3. Embrace the balance challenge. First one-legged balance on this side. And then slowly head to your shrimp squat. So we're tapping the right knee down, tapping the right, and you might not get all the way to the ground, but we're going in that direction. And then we're rising up stork pose, right knee into the chest. Let's inhale, bring palms in front of shoulders. Exhale, kick and push. Swing it back, high crescent lunge. Arms to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, long pyramid pose, high onto the back toes. Slowly hinge into the fold. Give yourself a breath. From here, bend the front knee, shift into your twist, drop the back knee down, twist the left arm up, and there's the optional quad stretch bind here in this lunge twist. Wherever you're at, let's inhale. Exhale, release the foot if you have it. Tuck the toes behind you, drop the heel down, and then crawl your way to Skandasana at the back of the mat. From Skandasana, we have this interesting transition, shifting forward, planting the right hand, lifting the left, threading the right leg through the arm and the leg, and sitting down to high boat pose. This time, let's add twists. So we're going to twist. High boat to low boat, or excuse me, high boat pose twists. A really nice way to engage through the outer core muscles, the obliques. If you can't tell by the noise coming through the microphone, I'm certainly out of breath. We're working hard over here, but we're building good energy. From here, as you feel complete, which I'm sure you are, start to shift forward. Plant the right hand on the left foot, lift the butt up, and thread the right leg through to step under you. Warrior 2, open through the arms. Stay here for a couple breaths. Relax through your neck muscles, but still stand up tall. Triangle pose. Lengthen and hinge with your open hips. Feel the energy rising off the ground. Take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2, bend the left knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, rotate the hands down and move through a flow that can bring you back to downward facing dog. From down dog, let's pick up the pace just a little bit. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step the right foot through and drop the back knee down. Inhale, lift the arms and grab opposite elbows. Exhale, release the arms, warrior 3. On your inhale, start to shift to the shrimp squat, and then exhale, really tap the knee down. Inhale, pull the left knee into the chest and bring your hands in front of your shoulders. Exhale, kick and push away. Inhale, swing back, high crescent lunge. Exhale, straighten the legs and hinge pyramid. Inhale, loop into your lizard lunge twist. Exhale, Skandasana, back of the mat. Start to shift forward, plant the left hand and thread the left leg through, sit on your butt. High boat to low boat here for 10, 9. Again, just going for time, not speed. So it's your own pace. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1, shift forward, plant right foot and left hand, lift the butt, thread the left leg through, warrior 2 with the right foot on top, or forward rather. From warrior 2, shift to triangle pose with your left arm reaching to the clouds. Take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, rotate the hands down and move through your flow. Chaturanga to upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg to the sky. Exhale, step through into your lunge. Drop the knee down. Reach up, grab elbows. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, start to bend both knees. Exhale, tap all the way down, shrimp squat. Inhale, pull the right knee into the chest, hands in front of shoulders. Exhale, kick and push. Inhale, swing back, high crescent lunge. Exhale, straighten the legs and hinge forward, pyramid pose. Inhale, loop the left arm open to your quad stretch, lizard lunge. Exhale, release that and head to Skandasana at the back of the mat. We'll move a little slower now. Start to shift forward, plant the right hand, thread the right leg through. Sit on your butt, high boat pose twist, Savasana twist. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, amazing job everybody, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1, we'll plant left hand and right, or excuse me, left foot and right hand. Lift the butt up, the right leg is the one that threads under as we head to warrior 2. From warrior 2, lengthen, open, reach, and hinge into triangle pose. Inhale here, option to look up. Exhale, warrior 2, rebend into your left knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, rotate the hands to the mat. Step back and move through your flow. All right, so now we've gone through this movement pattern several times. Let's keep it going, finding some ritual, some strength, and some consistency. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step through and drop the back knee. Inhale, arms up, grab the elbows. Exhale, lean out, warrior 3. Inhale, start to bend both knees, lower the hips. Exhale, fully tap the left knee down, shrimp squat. Inhale, pull the left knee into the chest, hands in front of shoulders. Exhale, kick and push away. Inhale, sweep back, high crescent lunge. Exhale, extend both legs and hinge, long pyramid stance. Inhale, rainbow the right arm up and drop the back knee for your lizard lunge twist. Exhale, Skandasana at the back of the mat, shift the hips. Inhale, come forward, plant the left hand and thread the left foot through. And then exhale, sit down into boat pose. Let's do some high boat to low boats here again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Amazing work, last 2. On 1, shift forward, plant the left hand on the right foot, lift the butt, left leg threads under, warrior 2. From warrior 2, open and extend, Trikonasana. Take an inhale here, lift up. Exhale, warrior 2, bend into the right knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, rotate the hands to the mat and move through your flow. Let's meet in downward facing dog in a couple breaths. From downward facing dog, inhale, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, step through into your lunge with the back knee down. Inhale, arms up, option to grab opposite elbows. Exhale, lean out, warrior 3. Inhale, start to lower the hips and bend both knees. Exhale, knee to the ground, full shrimp squat. Inhale, pull the knee in, hands in front of shoulders. Exhale, extend hands and right foot. Inhale, sweep back into high crescent lunge. Exhale, extend your legs and fold, high pyramid. Inhale, drop the back knee and swing the left arm around for your quad stretch. Exhale, let that go and shift to the back of the mat for Skandasana lunge. Start to shift forward, plant the right hand so you can thread the right leg through. Sit down into your low boat pose. Your high boat pose. And then twist. We're going for time once again for 10, 9, 8. Embrace the challenge. You're doing amazing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, plant the left foot and the right hand. Lift the butt, right leg threads under warrior 2. Triangle pose, extend, reach, and then fall into it. Take an inhale to reach the right hand higher. Exhale, bend the left knee, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, rotate the hands to the mat and flow from there. Or just go right back to downward facing dog if you want to. From down dog, let's go one more round. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step through into your lunge. Drop the back knee. Inhale, arms up, option to grab opposite elbows. Exhale, lean out, take your warrior three. Inhale, start to bend the knees, shift the hips down. Exhale, lower all the way, shrimp squat. Inhale, pull the left knee in, hands in front of shoulders. Exhale, kick and push away. Inhale, swing the leg back and reach the arms up to crescent lunge. Exhale, hinge over the right leg. Inhale, lizard lunge twist with the optional quad stretch. Exhale, skandasana lunge, carry it all the way to the back of the mat. Inhale, shift up, plant the left hand, thread the left leg through. Exhale, sink into boat. Or actually this time we're doing high boat to low boat again. So high boat to low boat, keep it going for 10, 9, I appreciate y'all putting up with me with all this core work. 8, 7, 6, 5, it's only because I love you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant the right foot and left hand. Thread the left leg through. Warrior two with the right foot in front. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Feet press down so that the left hand can find the clouds. Take an inhale. Warrior two on your exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, rotate the hands down and flow your way back to down dog. Or just step right back into your downward facing dog. And then last side. So inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step left foot through. Drop the knee. Inhale, rise with the arms. Optional elbow bind. Exhale, warrior three, shift forward. Inhale, start to lower the hips. Right knee lowers down. Exhale, fully tap the right knee. Inhale, knee into chest, hands in front of shoulders. Exhale, kick push. Inhale, swing the right leg back into high crescent lunge. Exhale, extend, lengthen, and hinge. Inhale, lizard lunge with the optional bind as you twist. Exhale, skandasana at the back of your space. Shift forward, plant the right hand and thread the right foot through. And we're going high boat pose twist for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Left foot and right hand, plant, lift the butt. Right leg threads under and steps behind you. Warrior two with the left foot up into triangle pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, return to warrior two, bending the front knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back and flow. Let's meet in down dog in a few breaths. From our downward facing dog, take a full breath in. Deep exhale out. Come towards the middle of your mat into a forward fold. We're going to move through what can be called the folding series. We're going to fold and unfold and create new space and new strength and work on our ankle mobility as well. So from this forward fold, we're going to sink all the way into a little squatting position. From here, lift the heels and rise onto the toes. From here, see how gently you can drop the knees down in front of you. Feel free to lay a blanket on the ground if you have a thin mat or if you have sensitive kneecaps. From here, lift up and then trust fall. So a trust fall, you can do whatever you want with the arms. I like to reach the arms forward as a counterbalance, and your toes could be tucked or feet could lay flat on the ground. I'm just choosing to keep the toes tucked this time. Lean back. So you could be a tiny trust fall or a bigger one. It's really just up to you. Lean back and then come back up. From here, sit down to your heels, then pop the knees up, then drop the heels down, then forward fold. Right? And you can use your hands as much or as little as you want. And our ankles are often very specific to us. So if your ankles aren't letting you kind of fold into those tiny squats and whatnot, then it's totally okay to have your ankles pop up or find variations of this. Take a halfway lift, clear some space. And then from halfway lift back down into your forward fold. Sink down into your tiny squat and then pop the knees up into your toe stand. Drop the knees down with grace, and then push the pockets of your pants forward, and then lean back into a trust fall. Rise back up out of the trust fall, sit down to your heels. Pop the knees up, drop the heels down, forward fold. halfway lift, forward fold. Let's flow. This is gonna be super strengthening, and we'll just go a few rounds. Drop into your little squat, pop the heels up, drop the knees down, push the pockets of your hips forward, trust fall back, rise back up, and don't forget to breathe. Exhale, drop the hips down, pop the knees up, drop the heels down, forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold. Sink into your little squat, push the knees forward and drop them in front of you. Push the hips forward, trust fall, release the trust fall, and sit back. Pop the knees up, drop the heels down, forward fold, drop the head. Halfway lift, let's just do like 2 more. Drop into your fold. Sink into a little squat, pop the heels up, drive the knees forward to drop them, and then drop the hips forward, trust fall. From your trust fall, release, sit back to your heels. Pop the knees up, drop the heels down, forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. Little tiny squat. Pop the knees up, drop them in front of you. Pockets of the pants drive forward, trust fall. Lift up out of the trust fall, sit back to the heels. Pop the knees up, drop the heels down, forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. Tiny squat. Pop the knees up, drop them in front of you, drive the pockets of your pants forward, trust fall. Release the trust fall, sit back to your heels, pop the knees up, drop the heels down, forward fold. Okay, last one, halfway lift. It'll be worth it, I promise. Forward fold. Little tiny squat. Lift the heels, drop the knees in front of you, pockets of the pants drive forward. This time, camel pose. You've already been building all this space. Hands connect to heels, drive the hips forward, and find your opening. Slowly release and find what feels like a normal seat for a few breaths. Find calmness. Come back to your own center. I wanted to bring the camel pose in because I think that's a nice demonstration about how when we build so much strength, control in the legs, and openness in the front of the hips, moving into an expansive posture for the upper body like camel pose becomes very available and accessible even when we haven't done too much specific opening for the upper body or for the spine. But since our legs are receptive to it, and because our shoulders are open through some of those other postures like downward facing dog, upward facing dog, all of a sudden a posture like camel becomes possible, right? As well as our activation through the core definitely helps with those trust falls. Anyways, let's come back to downward facing dog for a moment. From downward facing dog, let's bend the knees and look forward. Then take a hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky as you stand up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, we're gonna try a balance challenge here, my friends. Just doing a few different balancing poses in succession and seeing what we can do. You know, if you have 2 blocks, sometimes blocks can be really helpful in balancing poses and transitions, but they're by no means necessary. You can totally explore any of this without blocks. So, top of the mat, let's start with the left knee pulled into the chest and the arms up to the sky. We'll go ahead and work into an interesting transition to half moon. So we'll start to open at the hip, and then like you're trying to lift the left foot up above a hurdle, start to rotate all the way open, eventually to half moon. And this is where I like to use a block, but again, you can definitely explore this pose without a block or a prop. Or you can always grab a water bottle or some paper towels as your block. From here, reverse it. Pull the left knee in, stand all the way up to stork pose, and then we're going to spend a moment in Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana with the big toe hold. extending the left leg out in front of us. And you don't have to fully straighten your leg. You can do this pose with a bent knee as well. As you'll see, my knee is bent. Take an inhale. Slowly release on the exhale without flinging the foot, and see if you can bring the leg down with grace. All right. Shake it out if you want. Take a breath. Amazing work. When you're ready, switch sides. Right knee pulls into the chest, arms reach up to the sky, and then we're taking a roundabout journey to half moon. So again, like you're lifting your right foot over a hurdle. Rotate the hips open, slowly, slowly. Use the strength and control we've built to find more ability to manage your flexibility. And then from half moon, we're just bringing it back. So pull the knee into the chest, rise up, take it slow. There is no rush. And then big toe hold. Release, but try to control the lower of your right foot down to the ground. Shake it out if you want to. All right, now we're gonna add on. Let's try some things. Let's embrace the challenge. Why not? So, left knee will pull into the chest for stork pose, and we'll do the same transition slowly to half moon. You have several breaths, so make sure you're breathing and don't rush there. From the half moon, we'll slowly rotate the hips down, closing off the stance to more of a warrior three, and head to a shrimp squat. You'll notice I'm keeping my right hand on the block for a while because it just feels good to have a little bit extra support. From the shrimp squat, rise up into your big toe hold. And then option to take your big toe hold out to the side for Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana B. Come back through center, and then again, without flinging, try to let the foot go with grace. Whew, that is not easy, but hey, we can do hard things, you know? We can do hard things. All right, float the right knee into the chest. From stork pose, take your loop around into half moon. Slowly. And then once you get there, really expand into it. From here, close off the hips, roll the right hip down, and then tap the right knee all the way down for your shrimp squat. And then power yourself back up into your big toe hold. Right leg extends, and then option to open out to the side. Come back through center, release the foot, and come back to standing. All right, my friends, we're gonna do one more round. We're gonna add on just a tiny bit, and then we're going to bring it down to the ground to wrap up the practice. So left leg up. We've done this before. Loop around into balancing half moon. I feel a lot safer with keeping a little bend in my standing right knee. Something to consider. And then from here, close it off and tap down into your shrimp squat. You don't have to go all the way down, but you can if you wish, and then power back up and take your big toe hold. From big toe hold, option to open to the side for a couple breaths. And this is the only thing we're adding on is the big toe hold twist. So switch arms, right hand to left foot, and then left arm reaches back. So now we're just doing the big toe hold twist. And then try to release with some grace, with whatever, with whatever strength is still remaining after all that. All right, last side to go. Pull the right knee in, start in stork pose. When you're ready, open around all the way to balancing half moon. Take a moment when you get there, and then close off the hips by rolling the right hip down. Tap the right knee all the way to the mat for your shrimp squat, and then power back up for your big toe hold. We're doing all three variations, so a couple breaths straight on. A couple breaths out to the side. And a couple breaths in the twist. Slowly release back to the ground. Amazing job, my friends. All right, stretch the arms up on your inhale. Forward fold on your exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back, and move through your flow to meet in downward facing dog in a few breaths. From downward facing dog, we're going to drop down to the mat, sit back to our heels for a moment. I wanted to give us one more opportunity in camel pose. Since we already explored it once, we built all this space. You know, I don't teach camel pose super often, but today it's a part of our practice. And so I really like the opportunity to do poses multiple times in a practice because it gives us more familiarity, muscle memory. And with the awareness from the last round of camel, we can explore a little bit more on this next round. So whenever you're ready, remember it starts in the legs. Rise up. If you need to widen your stance, make sure your stance is wide enough. Push the hips forward. Your opinion, or your choice rather, toes tucked or feet flat on the ground. Start with a trust fall. Hips forward, engage the glutes, lean back, keep the spine long, and then drop into it and embrace the opening. Take as many breaths as you're comfortable with. Slowly release using the core, using the legs, and then come on out of it. Sit down onto the ground, and after that deep back bend, let's spend a few moments in some more introverted folding space. So come back to this wide-legged seated fold, just like the beginning of class. Like I said, I like to do the same postures at different points in the practice to provide new perspective. And so you can undulate around, or you can always just fold and hold the center. Just a few breaths here in this wide-legged seated fold. As we start to lift up, we'll head back into our Sukhasana forward fold. One shin in front of the other. Try to really cross the legs. So don't just cross at the ankles. Try to cross at the shins. And if you'd like to take a double pigeon or a Gomukhasana, you can certainly take those. My hips are not open enough to take double pigeon. So I go for the Sukhasana fold. A few slow breaths here. We'll start to lift up, release, and switch the cross and the legs. Take this into your forward fold. Embracing the slow energy and trying to lengthen out the exhales. We'll start to lift up and release, and we'll lay down onto our backs. We'll take one final round of bridge or wheel. We took bridge to start the practice a few times, so you could go back into that territory and see if there's a little more space or awareness. Or you could take the space from all the camel poses and whatnot into a wheel pose. I'm going to go into bridge first, and then we'll see. So when you're ready, rise up. Bridge pose, wheel pose, or a little bit of both. Stay as long as you want, and you're welcome to come down when you're ready. Take your sweet time, your practice. But whenever you're done, we'll just head into a twist. So after taking the revolved big toe hold, it might be nice to take the same pose, but on the back. So you can do that by pulling the right knee into the chest, twisting the right leg across the body, and then extending the right leg as you get into the fold. And then a few breaths there. We'll let it go. And give yourself a breath in the center. Then switch sides. Left knee comes in, guide it across your body, and then find your twist option to extend the right leg. Release and guide your way back through center. If there's any finalizing postures that your body would like to take, you have the ultimate freedom to round out your practice in the ways that would support you and your energy. Otherwise, if you feel complete, come into Savasana, laying flat on the back, inviting in any props like a blanket or a pillow, even a weighted bean bag or any essential oils, putting on in any soothing meditation tones. Set up your space for a nice, smooth, fluid Shavasana, especially after so much activation and concentration in the lower body. It can feel really nice to allow the legs to release all effort and feel heavy and surrender to this posture that doesn't require anything out of us. It can also feel really nice to place a bolster or pillow underneath the knees to support the legs after they supported us. With that said, let's take some moments here to fully rest in Shavasana. Take some stretches, maybe lift the arms overhead or wiggle the toes. Maybe roll over to your left or right side for a few moments. And then slowly lift yourself up into a seat. As we get into our seat, we'll sit up nice and tall in the spine, lift through the crown of the head, bring the hands into a prayer position in front of the heart. Let the awareness sit at the third eye center, in the center of the brow. And lift the thumbs up toward that third eye center. But close the practice by bowing to show our gratitude. Thank you, my friends, for joining another practice. I hope you got a nice practice out of it. Leave any thoughts or questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to see it and get back to you. And I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and hope to see you soon on your mat. Much love and much peace.